Hey, hello, and welcome to this episode of Learn Everyday English, your roadway to English proficiency. As you can see, I'm not in the studio or inside the house today. I'm outside. I'm wrapping up my walk around the neighborhood, but the video is actually going to start with me leaving the house and showing you a few things, but I'm taking advantage of doing the intro and the outro, the intro and the ending of the video at the same place. So I'll be cutting back and forth. But before I get into the video, there's 3 things that you can do for me. Hey, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and 3, tell your friends about it so that they can benefit from these videos too. Hey, just like you. Well, all right, I'm going to be taking you with me on my walk around the neighborhood today and kind of show you a few things, and you're going to hopefully find it interesting, kind of what life is like here in the United States and maybe especially here in Texas, and hope you'll learn a few things. So without further ado, let's get going with me leaving the house and walking down the driveway. Well, first I'm going to show you my cat Gato. He's a very relaxed cat. Then we're going to go outside and show you a few things and then take the walk around the neighborhood. So let's go. Well, I'm going to be taking a walk outside, going for my daily walk for about maybe an hour, do about 2 miles or so, kind of a leisurely pace, a leisurely stroll. Leisurely means, not real fast, kind of somewhat slow, and kind of enjoy the weather. It's a beautiful day outside. It's probably around 80 degrees, and for Texas, it's really not that hot, not a lot of humidity. Before you go, though, I wanted to show you our cat. His name is Gato, and that's his real name, very original, but he's in his little cat bed on top of this stand, kind of living the life of leisure, living the life of Riley, sometimes, as they say. So let me show you Gato. This is our cat Gato in his little bed. Let's see if he'll stick his head up. He was just looking at me not too long ago. But this is what he does most of the day. He spends his time sleeping around. Pretty cool cat, but he can be a pain sometimes, we say. But that's Gato. I'm heading down the driveway, and but first thing, before I start my walk, we got the trash can that's sitting out at the end of the driveway. I need to go ahead and retrieve that, or like get it, and put it back where it's supposed to be, and then I'll take the walk. I don't like to leave the can sitting at the street because people may think that you're not home and may want to do something nefarious, which means something bad or evil. But here's our garbage can that the city truck collected this morning. I'm going to bring it back up the driveway. So I dragged or rolled the trash can up to its spot here where we keep it, so out of the way, so it's not bothering us as we need to move the cars in and out. But I want to show you that I think I'd mentioned in another video, we had the roof replaced on the house because of the hailstorm a while ago. Some time ago, all means the same thing, and this is the new roof that the roofers are the people that work on the roofs or the roofs, and so they replaced the roof about a week ago. I think the roof has a warranty or a life of about 25-30 years, so hopefully we won't have to worry about changing or replacing the roof in my lifetime. Okay, I'm on my walk. So I said there was the big hailstorm, so there was a lot of contractors, a lot of roofers that were in the area trying to get people to use their service to replace their roof. As I told you, roofs are very expensive. The cost to replace our roof was about $14,000-$15,000, but insurance covered most of that. But as we walk in the neighborhood, I'll show you there's maybe some roofers that are actually working today replacing roofs. And there's some roofs that have already been replaced, as is a house down here on the left as I walk. They had their roof replaced, so you'll see a lot of that going on. So I'm coming up on or approaching this house, and they recently had their roof replaced. And what happens here, a lot of the roofing companies will place a sign in the yard to advertising to let people know, hey, I'm a roofing company, I replaced this house, and maybe you might want to use me. Here's the name of my company and the contact. And so he just had his roof replaced. Here's another house in the neighborhood. They just had their roof replaced also. And as you can see, they have a sign in their yard by the RCI Roofing Company. This company did the work and replaced the roof on this house. So this is very common. You'll see these signs in front of houses that have had roof replacements. But I know I haven't made a video walking around the neighborhood in a while, but I have been staying pretty busy. I've been doing a lot of photography. I had kind of gotten into a funk or a slump. That means I had gotten a little bit disinterested with photography, because especially during the pandemic, and say you're not traveling, you go to the same places all the time, you walk to the same places, and you get a little bit tired of taking pictures of the same thing over and over again. But I decided to try to maybe look at doing different types of photography. And we have an expression in English called thinking outside the box. So I thought I would try to think outside the box, which means to not think of just the routine things to do, the normal things that you always do, but try to think of things that are innovative and different. And I found different types of photography that are people can do, and one is called like street photography. So I've been doing a lot of that, where you document kind of daily life in the city that you live in. I was hearing some noise here around the side or the corner. I didn't know what was going on. Trying to see what was there. You might hear some like buzzing, humming noise in the background. That sounds like somebody using some type of lawnmower or lawn type of equipment. But getting back to the story, I was trying to think of different things to do for photography, and decided to get into street photography, which is like documenting everyday life of people on the street, whether it be in the neighborhood. Sometimes I go downtown and look at businesses with people walking around in the downtown area, the town square. Or I've gone to the local university and taken pictures of students as they walk around the university and kind of document their daily life there at college. So I've found that to be very interesting and something different, and I'm really enjoying that. As these dogs keep barking at me, there's a house that has two pretty large dogs behind a fence, thankfully behind a fence, barking at me. And I've also been say hitting the books hard. Hitting the books hard. That means kind of studying a lot or focusing a lot on Spanish. So again, every day I watch quite a few videos in Spanish, and I listen to podcasts. So like I said, I try to do that every day. And I feel very encouraged. I feel very good about that because I am able to understand more and more now. I'm able to understand a lot better than I used to. Things that I used to not be able to understand or follow, it's become easier. As people speak faster, I can understand, or we say I can catch more of what I'm hearing, catch more, or grab more, or understand more of what I'm hearing. And that makes me feel good, makes me feel confident and comfortable that my approach in learning Spanish is working. And I'm starting to realize more and more the importance of just listening and the importance of being consistent. I was watching a Spanish channel, and this seemed like popular Spanish channel for people learning Spanish. The founder is a gentleman from Spain, and he's very big on comprehensible input. And they have a program that, if you want to, people can sign up for and watch a lot of videos. But it's interesting because his approach is that the most important thing is to just listen. Listen. Don't try to really be concerned about looking up words you don't know in the dictionary. Just keep listening, and don't really worry about trying to speak or have conversations in the beginning until you're maybe an advanced beginner or even advanced level, which I found interesting. I don't know if I really agree with that, but every person has their own way of thinking, their own methodology, way of doing things. But he says just listen, and if you listen enough, consistently enough over time, you're going to learn the language. You're going to learn the vocabulary. So don't worry about trying to look up words. Don't worry about trying to say memorize lists of words. Just don't put too much pressure on yourself. Enjoy the process and just listen. And I like that method of learning Spanish, although that's not exactly how I did it. And I think the way I did it was maybe somewhat non-conventional. So I didn't really know anything about comprehensible input when I started. But I just did do a lot of listening, and I found for me that was the thing I like to do best. And but I did look up words that I didn't know, and I think I did too much of that maybe, but I try to look up almost every word I didn't know. Well, when I was reading in Spanish, when I was listening, I didn't stop the video all the time, but I would stop it quite a bit. But that kind of is my personality. Maybe being an engineer, I like to be very analytical about things. I want to know what I'm reading, what I know, and what I don't know. But again, that maybe it's not the way everybody learns a language. Okay, I'm coming down the road here around this corner, and there's this vehicle here. It looks like it's a contractor. On the side it says Cowboy Contractors, so it looks like they're doing some work inside this house here. It says Cowboy Contractors, often outpromised, seldom outperformed. And this pickup truck is pulling this trailer. But here, as you can see, I'm coming up on the left. Well, this orange thing here is called a porta can or porta potty, as you can see on the side, which is a portable toilet. Porta means portable, potty means like a toilet, and porta potty means a portable toilet where you can go in here and use the bathroom, take a pee or whatever. As we're coming down the street, we can see here on the left that some more roofing signs, and as you can see here, there's a crew, we say a crew, a work crew, that's working on a roof. They're replacing the roof. You see some guys on top. There's a ladder and everything like that. So you'll see a lot of work going on here in the neighborhood of people doing work, replacing roofs because of the hailstorm. But that's a very common sight you're going to see. But what I wanted to tell you is here in the United States, and especially here in Texas, as you can see behind me, the guys working on the roof, that the majority of people that you will see working in, we say labor type jobs, manual labor where you have to use your hands, especially replacing roofs, maybe people that are yard men cutting yards and construction, will be Hispanic or Latino people. And I have to say, I have to give them their props, we say in English, or have to give them their just due or give them their praise. They work very hard. They're very hard working people, because it's not an easy job at all to do. And especially here in Texas and Houston area, the temperatures in the summer get to about 100 degrees all day long. So I don't know if it's like that where in your country, but here a lot of the say labor type jobs, hard work type of jobs where you get your hands dirty, like I said, manual labor, is performed by Hispanic or Latino people. And you know, whatever your beliefs are, but they do immigration, and the people that come and do this work perform a valuable duty or job for this country and this society. And you know, there's some people here who don't like immigration or don't like immigrants, but I don't think they know what they're talking about. And we need to, I guess, let people know that people that come here and do these types of jobs do a great service and help out the company, help out the country in what they do. And up here there's some guys, we say landscapers. Let me show you that. So up here on the right, you'll see this a lot as well. There's a landscape crew that is doing yard work. One guy is on we say a riding lawnmower. He's cutting the grass. There's another guy using some type of blower that's blowing the material around off the grass. And that's the noise you hear. So they're people, the homeowners hire these contractors, these lawn waste people, to cut their grass for them. I had to kind of cut the video off because it was getting kind of loud. But so you see, this is very common here in the United States, that people use these yard waste crews to cut their grass and do work around their property. And I don't do that, but I'm still able to do it. But say if ever I were in the place where I couldn't do it anymore, I would have to use a service like that. I don't know how much they would charge. We have a large yard, but I know my brother lives in Houston. He has a very small yard, and he told me that he has a company come by to cut his grass every other week, like every 2 weeks, and they charge $40, so he pays $80 a month. I think my yard would be much more, maybe probably $100 every time they have to come out. So like I said, and I was telling you earlier, and I watch a lot of videos on YouTube, especially so a gentleman, he lives up in I think Maryland. He's originally from Honduras, or no, Guatemala, I think, and he gives a lot of tips, information on people that live in Spanish-speaking countries that may be interested in coming to the United States to live or to work. And he had a video talking about the types of jobs that people can get coming from, say, Spanish-speaking countries, the better jobs or jobs that they're able to find more easily if you speak Spanish and don't speak much English. And one of the jobs that he said was very good to get, and if you wanted to start your own business, was landscaping business like these guys have. You don't need much of an investment. You just need to have a truck, and you need a lawnmower, something to cut the grass with, and you can start your own business. And we say in English, the sky's the limit of what you can do. It just depends on how much effort and work you want to put into it. Do you have good interpersonal skills? Can you relate to people? Like I said, you don't need to really speak English very well, as long as you can kind of communicate. So these guys have created a business for themselves, cutting yards, we say, cutting grass. And also in construction is another good type of job you can get here in the United States if you don't speak English or speak much English. Also working in restaurants is a job that a lot of people get. You may not get paid very well or make that much money, and I've seen stories and videos where people start off, as a dishwasher, and then they work at a restaurant for a while. They work their way up to other jobs, and then maybe you can become a waiter, but you have to then have a little bit better command of the English language, or you have to be able to speak English a little bit better, and then you can make more money. So the thing I want to leave you with is that it's very important that you learn and study English, especially if you want to come to the United States. You don't need to, but it will hinder you. It will hinder you or hold you back. You won't be able to advance. It will make your life more difficult, a lot more difficult, if you don't speak the language or you don't speak a little of the language. So I think you all know that that's very important, because that's why you're watching this channel. But there's a lot of people here that I know and even heard of. They've lived here in the United States for many, many years, 5, 10, maybe 15 years, 20 years, and they don't really hardly speak any English at all. So I don't know why that is, because if I were to move to a, say, Spanish-speaking country, that would be the first thing I would want to do, is to improve my Spanish to the point where I can communicate, because I know it would just make my life that much easier. And I'll leave you with this story. I don't know if I told this story before, but we have a family friend. She works with my wife. She's from El Salvador, and she has a daughter who was born here. So the daughter speaks fluent English and Spanish, and her husband is from El Salvador also, but he doesn't speak really any English at all. He's been living here, 5-7 years, and so he works at a lumber mill. It's a very demanding job. He works, I think, 6 days a week, 10-12 hours a day. And so they came over to visit one evening, and I was talking to him in Spanish, trying to practice my Spanish. It was una buena oportunidad para mí. It's a good opportunity for me, so I jumped at the chance. To talk to him and use my Spanish, which means I took advantage of that, because I really wanted to. And it was a little difficult because he spoke very quickly, and it was not very clear, so I had a difficult time understanding some of the things he said, but it was fun, and we talked for like 20-30 minutes, just he and I told him, hey, if you want, I can help you, and we can help each other. I can help you with your English if you want to practice conversation, and you can help me with my Spanish, and we can help each other. But for whatever reason, he didn't seem, I thought he would say, hey, sure, claro que sí, of course, por supuesto. But he didn't seem very excited. And I said he didn't take me up on my offer. He didn't take me up on my offer. That means he didn't want to use my my help to help him in his English. So I don't know why. Even his wife told him, hey, you need to do that. Gary's here willing to help you. You need to take advantage of that. But he didn't. So I'm not sure why, but I thought that was somewhat unusual. And 'cause it's just going to make life more difficult for him and his wife. And they just had a new baby that was maybe several months old. So here's an opportunity for you to improve yourself down the road, get a better job. You don't have to work as often, as much. You can spend more time at home with your wife and family and make more money and have a better life. But in English, we have an expression, to each his own, which means like, hey, everybody has their way of doing things. Everybody's different. So his way, I guess, is different than mine. That's what makes the world go round, we say in English. That's what makes the world go round. Everybody has their differences. But so I say all that to say this, just keep doing what you're doing and in your study of the English language, and it will pay off. I guess whatever you want to do with it or plan to do or hope to do with it, it has nothing but benefits that I see. Learning a new language opens a door or many doors. You can learn about things in other countries that you would never be able to learn or know about because you're hearing it from different sources in a different language. So it's just fun to me. As I'm walking down the street, this person has here parked a nice trailer. I guess he can use in construction to haul material. But over here I wanted to show you, he also has a boat parked here, and this is called a pontoon boat. Pontoons are the things at the bottom of the boat that float or help the boat float on the water. He's got it parked here on a trailer. And here he also has a Jeep Laredo. And behind the Jeep is a trailer with two, these are called jet skis, which you can take out on the water or the lake and have fun with. And I'm taking this route because over here there's a area of new construction where they're building some new homes. It's a new development area. It's like a developer has bought some property and he is developing it and turning it into say lots, and he's going to build homes on lots over here to sell. Here is a area, these are called mailboxes, where the people that are going to live here can have their mail delivered to, and they can open the mailbox and get their mail. But each one of these areas here enclosed within this black fencing is a lot. And this black fence is called silt fencing. Silt fencing, that helps keep the dirt in and keeps the dirt from washing down the storm drain. As you can see here, this is a kind of environmental protection issue. And this is a storm drain. When it rains, the water goes down the storm drain, but per environmental regulations, we don't want all the dirt to go down the drain. So they have this black fabric or fencing material that's placed to help trap and keep some of the dirt from going down the storm drain. I don't think it's very successful, but it helps some. So this is the last thing I want to show you, in this new development area. You can see over there in the distance, or over yonder, they're building some new houses, new homes or new houses. And see, one right here in front of me is still under construction. So you can see the frame that's being constructed. And I walked around here the other day, and like I mentioned earlier, there was just a lot of Hispanic workers working on building these houses. So again, here in the United States, very common to use and to see Hispanic people, Latinos, working in the construction industry here in the United States, because I guess it is something that you can do. You don't have to speak English, and you can get a job pretty quickly and pretty easily and make decent money. So you'll make more money than say working in a restaurant. Okay, well, that's what I wanted to show you today. I guess you saw there are 3 industries that people can work in without really having to speak or know a lot of English. We saw one, the people that were replacing roofs in the neighborhood, roofers. People that have a yard business, we say a landscaping business, cutting grass, cutting yards, and here construction. So you saw all of that in my neighborhood walk. It's kind of a snapshot, we say, a snapshot or a small picture or glimpse of what life is like in the total U.S., but you can see a good glimpse of that here just in my neighborhood. And so I hope you enjoyed this video today on Learn Everyday English. You know, there's 3 things that you can do for me. Hey, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and 3, tell your friends about it so that they can benefit from these videos too. Hey, just like you. We'll be bringing you a variety of content. I've been putting up lately a lot of videos about phrases, expressions in English. I'll be doing more of that. But I want to give you a variety of things, topics, walking around, showing you what life is like here and that sort of thing. So again, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you later on. I have to let this car go by. Learn Everyday English. All right, ciao.